All right, I want to start by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone. Salutation to the elect out there. All right, I want to do a quick lesson going into this guy right here who was found hung from a tree. Before I do, I'm going to start in Deuteronomy. And this is going into the curses. Let me see. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And this is to you Israelites out there. You are still under the curses until this day, you see, because we disobeyed the Lord, and we didn't keep his law, statutes, and commandments. So he did what? He sold us to our enemies. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28:64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter you among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. That's where you get that JC character, that Jesus Christ character, Jesus Christ, as people call him. But his real name is Yahweh Shai, and he's a so-called black man, you see. And other gods such as Buddha, and other false gods that, the heathen came up with. It says, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, wood and stone, you see. Wood and stone, that's where you get that the wooden cross from. That represents the Jesus Christ character. In the stone, the Kaaba stone, which those are Muslims they worship at Mecca, the Kaaba stone, you see. And it says, verse 65, it says, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease, you see, because the so-called black man and Hispanic and Native American, they're what? They're a proverb and a byword, you see. These heathen nations, they mock us, they laugh at us, they see us as being at a lower state. It says, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and a sorrow of mind. You see? 6:6. Verse 6:6, it says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. You see? Shall hang in doubt before thee. You see? And thou shalt fear day and night, and thou shalt have no assurance of life. Doesn't that sound like the so-called black man? And he gets pulled over by the cops, you see? By our enemies, the so-called white man. You see? Now let's play this video showing you how this guy right here, his life hanged in doubt, you see? And eventually he got hung by the enemy. All right, let's play the video.
Hanging from a tree. Investigation underway. Put it up full mast. This happened in North Georgia. Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, is still waiting on the autopsy results for 29-year-old Travante Schubert Hilton. Mr. Hilton, whose body was found hanging from a tree last week in North Georgia, is a hiker, found the body on the trail not far from High Shoals Falls in the Swallow Creek Wildlife Management Area. This took place on the 21st of this month after the hiker reported the discovery to the town's county sheriff. Local authorities, as well as the Georgia Natural Department of Resources, called the GBI to assist in the investigation. In a press release, GBI investigators stated that Mr. Hilton's death appears to be an isolated incident based on a preliminary investigation. State authorities also said Mr. Hilton was by himself at the wildlife management area. GBI.
You see that? Going back to what I read, verse 20, not verse 26, but verse 66, it says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. You see, he didn't know that he was going to get killed. He didn't know that he was going to be made unalive. You see, he says, thy life shall hang in doubt. Wasn't he hung? You see.
Yeah, spokesperson Kimberly Williams told Atlanta Black Star that state authorities were requested to investigate Mr. Helton's death since his body was found on state property. Williams stated no additional information was available to release at this time, but said the autopsy report is pending completion. The investigation remains ongoing. Until Helton's investigation is completed, there is no way to truly know. But what we do know is Georgia has a rich history of lynching black folks in the state. According to the New Georgia Encyclopedia, Georgia has a total of 458 reported lynchings, only exceeded by Mississippi, 538. During the 1880s and 1890s, instances of lethal mob violence increased steadily, peaking in 1899, when 27 Georgians fell victim to lynch mobs. Between 1890 and 1900, Georgia averaged more than one mob killing per month. Now, I want you to...
You see that? And it goes back into what? Let's get this script. Let's get a precept. It goes back into the Lord delivering us into the hands of our enemies. Let's get a precept. Let's see. This is and this is what our enemies do. This is Zechariah 11:5. It says, "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty." And that's what a lot of them do. And they did it back then during the time of slavery. You know, when slavery was at its hardcore peak. That's why they had public hangings, and they invited their families to see a so-called black man being burnt alive as he hung. You see, they hold themselves not guilty. They enjoy killing. They enjoy shedding innocent blood. You see. All right, it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich." And their own shepherds pitied them not. You see, our own people, they didn't pity us being killed. You see, they were too afraid of the white man. A lot of them to stand up. You see, and you have that this day. They hold themselves not guilty. Our enemies, the so-called white man, these heathen nations, they hold themselves not guilty. All right, let's continue the video.
To understand a mob killing, these are citizens typically, sometimes sprinkled with members of law enforcement, and they just simply kill somebody. And they go home and they eat dinner. Okay.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. See?
Okay, so understand the context of a mob lynching or mob killing, all right? The frequency of mob violence declined somewhat in the first decade of the 20th century, but by 9/11, lynch mobs were active again, killing 19 Georgians. Of the Georgians who were victims of the lynch mobs, 95% were black. But Georgia's lynch violence was almost always perpetuated by white mobs looking to kill black men. And the 5% who were not black were supporting black people, okay? All right, now, Jordan, this is a hell of a thing. And actually, we've reported on stories like this before out of Georgia where no conclusion was found except for the fact that a black man was hanging from a tree. This is not the first time.
No conclusion was found, you see. They don't hold themselves guilty.
This is probably one of the most national, but this is not the first time in the last 5 years this has happened in Georgia. What say you?
Let's get a precept, and then I'll end the lesson. All right, let's see. Let's end with this one. This is, let's see. Get a good one. Yeah, this is Lamentations 4:18. It says, "They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets." You see, he was hung out in the where he was in I think a park or something. He was hung because the enemies, our enemies, they hunted his steps. It says our end is near. It says our days are fulfilled, for our end is near. You see, the end of our captivity is close. Therefore, the devil, having great wrath, knoweth he have but a short time, like it says in Revelations. That's why it says, let's get it. It says, for the devil, let's see it, great wrath. That's why I tell you, Israelites out there, you better repent and turn back to the Lord, because this devil, he's going to come down even more. All right, let's see. Revelations. Let's see, Revelations. All right, here, Revelations 12:12. It says, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. You see, these devils, they know they have a short time to rule. That's why they're going to continue to oppress the Israelites until Yahweh shall come back and save us out of this captivity. But until then, it's going to get worse and worse. You're going to have stuff like this to continue to happen. A black man being hung, so-called black man being hung from a tree. It says in a forest, I think a park or something. So stuff like this is going to continue to happen. That's why I say to you Israelites out there, return to the Lord before it's too late.
It's tragic. It's
All right, shalom.